Hi friends, welcome to Creative DIY Purpose. This week I'm doing a few upcycled projects around my home and thought you may enjoy them. So I'd like to bring you along with me and come on, let's get started. For the first project today, we're going to give a makeover to these wooden picture frames. They've kind of yellowed over the years and just need a refresh. So I used apple barrel wicker white paint, then distressed the edges using my sander. Now I'm applying DIY clear wax to the entire frame. That will help seal the paint as well as be a base coat for the dark wax that I'm going to apply here shortly. That'll help so that if I get a little too much, the clear wax will allow me to be able to wipe it back a little bit easier. I'm not doing a full coat of the dark wax. I'm applying it sporadically. And now I'll take a cloth and wipe some of that back. And I really liked the aged look that it gave this photo frame. So I have been on the hunt for a doily so I could do this project for quite a while. And I found a slew of them at a church bazaar. And I will actually share those with you in my next video to show you some of the other ones that I purchased with this one. I'm using double-sided tape to adhere the doily to the back side of the photo frame. This will allow me to be able to take it off at any time because I'm hoping to find an antique round picture frame or maybe even an oval one. But for right now, this will do. I applied the double-sided tape along the edges of the frame. Once I had the doily in position, I'm adding double-sided tape, as you can see now, and folding the edges backwards, trying to make sure that it's even. And this will allow me to be able to hang it up on a wall or add it to a shelf, even prop it up on an easel without it being too padded in the back. All right, so once I have it all lined up and make sure that it's all laid flat and make sure that my hook is showing. And there we go. All right, so for our next picture frame, I had this scrap piece of lace. I hot glued it around the back side of the frame. And now I'm cutting it to make sure that it's even and not too much of an eyesore. I'm taking some of this lace binding and hot gluing it around the edges. And this will help give it a more finished look. Even though the side won't show, it makes me feel better knowing that it's tucked in a little bit nicer. I applied the Rust-Oleum spray sealer. I believe it was in a matte finish. And now it's ready to hang in my bathroom. You could also bag them with fabric or burlap, depending on the look you're going for. All right, so if you guys have watched my channel, you know I love making pedestals. I picked this little wicker basket up with a plastic insert for 50 cents. It's pretty sturdy. And at the same time, I picked up this candlestick holder. I think it was 25 cents. And I believe from looking at it that it is handmade. So I'm going to take some of the stone clay and put it down inside of the candlestick holder. This is going to help give a little bit more of a firmer surface. So that way when I glue it onto the basket, it's got more to grip. And I do adhere it with E6000. What I want to try to do now is make a label out of clay for the front of the basket. I decided to use ink stamps. If you don't have ink stamps, but you want this kind of look, just allow your clay to dry, and then you can print any design out on freezer paper in a reverse image, and then rub that ink right onto the clay. You'll get a little bit different of a look, but it'll work. Right now, I am molding the clay label onto the basket. I want to try to see how it's going to look. And then I also apply E6000 underneath it on each side, so that way it will adhere as it's drying. While the clay is still damp, I'm taking some of that white paint from Apple Barrel. It's super inexpensive and it worked out great for these projects. And then I added a little bit of baking soda so that I would get a textured mixture. And I did add a little bit of light gray paint as well. I do apply 2 coats and splatter some on to give it some nice texture. And then I gave the candlestick holder 2 sprays with the Rust-Oleum sealer. But I really like how this piece came out. And you guys will have to let me know which project was your favorite. But I'm thinking in this one, for this video, I really like this one. So a couple months ago, I went on a shopping spree and I think I bought every single lamp that I could find. Some of them I'm going to rewire. This one I decided not to rewire. I wanted to repurpose it. I was thinking at first the bump pan on top, but decided to go a different route with this one. Now, the cord had started to dry rot, so I will be cutting that off, but I need that socket piece for this project. So I do pull all of that out and then cut the cord. The other smaller pieces I will reuse for another project. Going to remove the sticker and then glue that piece back on with some E6000. I took water in a spray bottle and sprayed the lamp. Then while it was still wet, I applied 2 coats of the flat black spray paint. That allowed me to get that textured look on the lamp. I found that out by accident on a previous project. So now when I want textured paint, hey, that works. So this solar light I purchased from Walmart. The stake for it was a little long. I used my saw to cut that piece off. And now I'm going to apply some E6000 to both pieces. But first, I am going to use some air-dried clay to plug up that hole because I want to make this waterproof in case I do happen to leave it out on the deck and it rains. I'm positioning the air-dried clay in there, and then I will remove it and apply E6000 to make sure that it's in there really well. Next, I will apply spray paint over the clay so it's not as noticeable. And I really like how this turned out, and I will show you some more after photos as soon as we repurpose our bump pan. So this was a different style of a solar light that I picked up at Walmart for a few dollars. I'm going to remove all my stickers. Okay, so I removed the stake and I removed the base, and because it's square, I had to take a different route with this one, which was fine. So again, I'm measuring it. I will cut the extra piece off with my saw, and I'm going to apply some E6000, and that way we'll get a nice tight fit. And this was another super easy project. I think that took like only a few minutes. Added some greenery in there. I really like how these came out. Friends, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed these quick, simple projects. I love fresh new makeovers, using what you already have on hand, or create functional, beautiful decor pieces for only a few dollars. Have a super blessed week, and I'll see you soon.